and I come to you today with my last story and lesson in the 7 Stories, 7 Lessons initiative. This has been a very inspiring and powerful experience, and though I've shared different stories and of myself and my clients, I have not shared with you my Power Zone story yet. Now, it is out there. I've been interviewed on different TV shows, radio, published in my book, and different articles out there, but I've not shared with you. And I'm not shared from a place of inspiration of really wanting to serve you. And I want you to know, when I say I'm the Power Zone coach, that's not a gimmick. That is something that I am and what I found. So let me tell you about that. I could tell you about going to the hospital on many occasions with having different injuries, including several broken bones from being abused, and having my silent cry of wanting to have help being ignored. I could tell you about watching the O.J. Simpson murder trial folding clothes and thinking to myself, man, that could be me. I could be murdered. I could tell you about finally breaking free with having an opportunity where my ex was arrested, and I got to actually get out of his space, and it required me to move across another part of the state, half of the other side, and I moved with no job, no place to live, no family, and no friends. And I started a new journey there of the grueling process of being, going through the legal aspect of prosecuting, keeping myself and my daughter safe, and trying to rebuild my life. So today, though, what I want to tell you is my story when I found my power. There's so much in what I just shared. But we had worked together, the district attorney and I, for about 3 years. And I was under their protection during that time as well, but that didn't stop. I still had different experiences that weren't so safe with my ex. We'd worked really hard. He had ironclad testimonies, he had hospital records, affidavits, everything he needed, he said, for an ironclad case. And in fact, he had told me that this was the worst case of domestic violence he had ever seen, that I was lucky to be alive. And so I really leaned in on him. I really saw him as my protector. I really used everything I could to keep myself strong and able to go through this process. And in doing that, he filed the papers. He started the motion for prosecuting, because like I said, he had everything he said he needed. And then we sat back and we waited. And he was assured, he felt very confident in this. One afternoon, I get a phone call from him, and he says, Renee, I have some news for you. Are you sitting down? No. He says, you know, we have this ironclad case. You're the worst case I've seen. We've been here for you. However, somebody forgot to sign one of the documents, and unfortunately, we missed the statute of limitations to prosecute by 180 days. And unfortunately, there's not anything more we can do for you. And the call ended. And I remember that day so well. I fell to my knees. And I literally remember calling out, what else do you want from me? I have proven I'm strong. And it was hours I was in this position and just wanting to give up and crying at the universe, angry I'd been forgotten, I've been abandoned one more time. So frustrated. I had relied on this power. Now what was I going to do? How was I going to get through this? And I recall in this moment being pulled like energy-wise, physically up to my feet, and like a voice saying, this is not how this is going to end. This is not how your life is going to end. And in that moment, I realized something. They say there are 2 days, right? 2 important days in your life. The day you're born and the day you find out why. And in that moment, I found out where my personal power truly was. It was never with the district attorney. That power was within me. I had allowed it to go to other people to help me. And when I realized that that power was just dormant and it hadn't been challenged to come forward, and I was in that reckoning of what am I going to do? Give up? Who would blame me? Or do something powerful with it? And I chose to do something powerful with it. From there, I was able to actually put myself back to school, Lincoln Law School, enough courses that I was able to become a really tough mama bear for my girls. And I walked into court one day with my ex and his high-powered attorney. And I talked to that judge from that place of power and conviction. And I got what my other attorneys said I could never get, the toughest order of protection for my children. And I won. I won all by myself with no attorney. And as I walked out of the courtroom, true story, a man ran up to me and says, "Which law firm do you work for?" And I said, "I don't." And he was just so blown away, and it felt good to have that acknowledgement. I took that power and I've moved it forward in many areas. I started serving with WE, Women Escaping a Violent Environment, and I started sitting with them in the courtrooms and helping them find their voice. I took that into helping to be a founding director of Cheryl's United, which is now an international organization. I served on the board for almost 6 years and was the head of the domestic violence pillar. And I helped many women throughout the world find their voice, become a hero in their own life and in their children's life, and bring that back into their community. And I've helped so many others recognize their own personal power and find that voice. That is my purpose. So when I say I'm a power zone coach, that I'm a power expert, that's what I mean. And when individuals find that personal power, that conviction in their voice, and they're clear on their purpose, there isn't anything they can't achieve. And I'm so passionate about it because I've watched it be revealed in others. I've seen others actually finally have the courage to connect with it. I've seen them take this into their life and make changes they never thought possible or they were worthy of. I've seen it in businesses. I love playing with leaders and helping them find that leadership voice and connect with it so that they can inspire change in others. What a gift to have. So they can lead that change and they can bring that power into other people's lives and have that ripple, trickle-down effect into the communities at large. Your personal power zone is there all the time. And just like me, sometimes we diminish it. We don't think we're worthy, we're capable. We're too busy with all the other things expecting of us and demanding. But I believe that's what life is about. It's to be able to find your own personal power zone. Find that voice, value yourself, find ways to inspire change in yourself and in others for the greater good, and then lead those change, whether it be in your family, your life, in your community, in a vehicle of a business. Man, you can overcome even life and death situations like myself, whatever your challenge is, when you find your personal power zone. Thank you for taking extra time with me today and letting me share part of my story. I hope that sharing my gifts with you through this journey this week, that you've been inspired and you've taken away something good back into your life or into your business or community. It's an honor, I truly mean that, to serve and to represent as the Power Zone Coach. And I'm here in whatever capacity I can do that for you, my LinkedIn family. And I am just grateful for the opportunity to be here and to know why I'm here today to serve. Enjoy your long weekend ahead of you. I wish you much joy and success.